And I'm coming back today with the weekly video. So we're gonna cover a topic today, and I'm gonna be posting that either tonight or tomorrow in the morning. And today we're gonna talk about a subject I'm leaning in a little bit because it's a subject that's really near and dear to my heart. And so we're gonna cover a few things. I'm gonna get into some maybe summary and just kind of cover some highlights, right? Because this is a subject you can talk for hours about and so very interesting things, and I'm sure some of you are probably going to be relating to this. But tell me if you relate to this. Have you ever been one of those, when you were growing up with your friends, you were always the one that was in the kind of in the middle, the one that was they wanted to kind of like stray, but you would want to bring everybody together. No, don't do this. And then you were the one that was always, all the things that were invited, and you were always going. And even fast forward, you become older. You had a hard time to kind of, let people know what you kind of was allowing or not allowing, or just, just flat telling somebody when you don't want to do something, tell them no. I don't want to do that. I don't. Or you always felt like you have to give a reason, an excuse. Some people even compromise the morality in order to please others by white lies or saying something and lying, trying to lie a little bit so that you don't have to do something a friend or a coworker or whatever's asking you to do. And then hard conversations. Confrontation is difficult for you. You have a hard time saying no. I don't agree. You get in just little those little friend debates, right? You're standing there. You never really say anything. Well, let me tell you something. If that's you and some of those things relate to you, let me tell you something. I wanted to say you suffer from, but I don't want to make it too dramatic. But there's something called in society, it's called social anxiety. And it's really near and dear to my heart. I always wanted to make the video about social anxiety because I know how important it is in people's life. And sometimes you don't know that's what it is. And you struggle from it on your life. And people have hard time to becoming assertive, which is different than being mean. And being mean is another definition, which has nothing to do with what we're going to be talking here today. And so, what is social anxiety really? Well, I said it's a condition, but it's a condition that comes from people, right? Not having a hard time asserting themselves in society. Establishing your boundaries and as to tell how to people how they should see you and give you the respect, right? The respect that you're owed. So social anxiety has been rampant in society for years. Almost 60 to 80% of people suffer, they just don't know that's what it is. And then, everybody's just nice people and trying to be nice, and you hear that word nice a lot, right? Oh, you be nice, right? Nice and nice. We hear a lot of that in the children's psychology, kids environment, bringing kids up, be nice, and that's fine. They want them to play fair and safe. But as people grow up with that nice thing, they take it into adulthood, and it becomes a trait that is perceived in some environments as almost weakness and not being able to be assertive and tell people what you want and speak up and speak out, and make yourself heard and respected, and make people respect your time and your calendar and your life and to create a reputation that when people talk about you, they know that, hey, this is a person, not because they're afraid of you, but you just don't mess with them because they have a head on their shoulder. They know what they want. You heard people say they don't take prisoners, or they don't take BS, right? A lot of those people, some people have that more than others, but it's the minority of people have that more than that assertiveness more than others. The majority of people are just kind of here in the middle or back there, into the, like, kind of like, yeah, I'll be there. Well, you can't do it. I don't know how to do it. Or a decision, a hard time making a decision, right? In the middle of two choices, they just sit there like for a while, like all that stuff. It comes back to social anxiety, get making a decision, moving, saying this, I want to do this, I want to do that. And at the beginning, I was introducing in a way for you to recognize what are some of the signs. So I'm going to cover, like I say, maybe in a repetition, some of the signs, right? Some of the signs are really day-to-day stuff that you hear all the time. Fear of confrontation, right? They don't know how to have hard conversation, which is the most important conversations that you can have. Is hard conversation, because that's where the truth comes out, and that's where respect is usually earned, trust is earned back, those kind of thing. You can hear people with a hard time saying things like the big word, right? No, I don't want to do this. No, like somebody no, just to say no, like the no, like people. Some people hyperventilate just to say no, no, right? They find a way to go around and just to say no. Like, it's a hard thing for some people, and we shouldn't judge them because it's the nature, right? Um, Not respecting their own resources, your time and your money, and you kind of leave it to the accessibility or whatever, the control of the other people. People kind of influencing you in spending money that you don't really want to spend, right? Worse, they want to take control of your time. They're calling you and asking you to do all this kind of stuff that you don't have time in your calendar, but you don't know how to say no. I don't want to do it. It's so weird, but so many people do that on a daily basis. And it's something that we all need to start working on to revert that and try to work back and own and take back, what is ours, right? Um, and it's you can see that even in careers. People don't speak in meetings. They don't raise their hand in meetings. They don't give their opinion. They usually don't speak up, right? Most of the time they're soft spoken, right? Soft spoken, you barely hear them. They have a difficulty to talk, to say something, and the worst, they have a hard time kind of just giving an opposite opinion in a discussion. I don't agree with this. The words like I don't agree. I don't think this is the right thing. That's not right. I don't think that's like it's very difficult for you to hear people say that. There's so many examples, and that spills into career life, personal life, relationships, friendships, family relationships. I mean, it's all over the place, and all that stuff builds your reputation, how people see you, and actually affects how you grow social, how you move upwards socially, wherever it is. And you have to think of it as almost like a branding of your image. Like when somebody think of you, what do they see, right? The first thing when you say your name and your first name and your last name in a circle, what do people think about? And that's how you build that image immediately. When people are, here's one thing. When people are lukewarm about you, there's a lot of things that you need to work on. Because people either have to be hot about you or cold. Lukewarm is worse because the middle is like, and it said in a book, the good book, that if you are lukewarm, I will spit you out of my mouth. So I mean, changing that and what you want is that, that hot personality, right? Like, it's like, this is what you get, this is what it is, whatever. But here's the big word that we have to remember with assertiveness. The word respectful should always be part of the equation, right? We're not talking about brash, cocky, arrogant, hurtful. We're not talking about those kind of things. That's not what I'm talking about. Just being assertive, talking clearly, loudly, saying what you mean, respectfully, but firmly, right? Without yelling or not too low. Like right there where the voice should be. And it's a difficult thing. It takes practice and it takes years. When you've been all your life like that, and you don't even realize that it's what has brought you where you are, what you have, your net worth in every area, your self, net, all that is because of what that image that you build about yourself, how you're assertive in society, in your career, in your life. So it's critical to be able to attack those things. Um, and what I was talking about, what are the consequences of that in life, right? Social anxiety can be devastating, right? I'm gonna read something real quick here. It says that I wrote, right? It can have devastating consequences on lives at many levels. It's part of the major reasons that most people struggle, even in dating, even in married life, in professional life. Um, so why you can't be strong enough to say what you mean and do all those things and give people the real true image of who you really want to be. People people don't really give you the consideration that you deserve. And I put in here that the worst of this is your whole life. People will be using you, using that weakness in order to for their gain and your loss. And so it's important, it's really paramount And it's not easy because I've part of that journey. I've been part of that because of my personality. I just love to serve, work with people, and the people pleaser thing, right? The people pleaser, that's a big one of social anxiety. There's nothing wrong with service and being a servant. But when you have that knowledge, you know what it means to serve, and you know when somebody just want to use you. And when you have this, again, assertiveness, and you kind of know what the difference is with social anxiety, you don't let that happen. And therefore, you take charge of your life, you take ownership of your life. So how do we tackle this? Tackling personal social anxiety and becoming more assertive it's a very difficult process, because if you've been in, depending on when you discover this, if you're way in the older years, um, and it's more difficult the older you are, because it will take many years. People already know you a certain way. This is the biggest challenge. People, your community, your friends, you've been in with years in the family, people know you like this. So all of a sudden you discover this thing and you're like, I need to work on this. I need to restart this. I need to work on me and get a different personality so people can see me in a different way now. So it's going to be difficult for you to redo that, right? Unfortunately, people suffer a lot for that, and I say suffer because it's actually almost an actual disease. There's some people that actually break hives, just to break hives when they get ready for a difficult conversation. They break hives just to say no to somebody on the phone. They break hives to make a phone call that they say they would make, to say something, and they're afraid, like it just like the person's going to jump out of the phone and bite them or something. And none of that's going to happen. It's just social anxiety, just being strong and assertive, and you can work on that. And then gain your respect, and what we call regaining and rewriting your Bill of Rights, and your Bill of Rights in your life, your Bill of Rights in society. And again, I'm very excited about this because it's a topic that is very near and dear to my heart, and it's interesting to listen to. So is it possible to overcome social anxiety? And are there going to be setbacks? Well, let me say this real quick because I want to end this video. It's definitely possible to regain your assertiveness back. It's possible to overcome social anxiety again. Like I said, depending on how many years you're discovering now. This is what I've been going through. It's going to take a longer time because again, people already know in a certain way. People already, that image, right? When your name is dropped somewhere, boom, what do people think immediately about you? If it's lukewarm, people are like, whatever. So that means you you didn't know, but there's something you need to work on, right? You can definitely reverse that. Number one, there's going to be some exercises and practices about social anxiety that you're going to be able to do. The first thing, I'm joking here, I'm saying you're going to practice for 30 days saying no to everything, even at work. No to your boss. No, I'm just kidding. For 30 days, you're going to say no to your boss. No, I see some people already shaking. No. Nah, you're not going to, it's not to go practice at work. Obviously, we know what work is and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? There's also a way to be assertive at your job. And I'm not going to get into that because that's another 15-minute discussion. Assertiveness at work, assertiveness at home in your family, assertiveness in your friendship, assertiveness in any other circle. What are some examples of things you should be taught, how you should be speaking, what you should be saying, right? Those coworkers that come and try to chit chat when you don't have time, but you don't know how to tell them I'm working. All those things at home, parents, children, assertiveness, relationship, marriages, assertiveness. Sometimes you have to put your foot down in a relationship to get respect. Hello. So definitely there's a lot of things. We're not going to talk about that. I'll do another video where we talk about some of the exercises and things like you can do, the words you can say, start practicing, preparing for a difficult conversation, practicing the conversation.